you tried it. I know I'm excited in every video, but today I'm really excited. I'm so happy to present to you the nautical hat as modeled by my boyfriend, Murray. This pattern is by Nathan Bryant of Loops and Threads. As usual, there will be timestamps below for each section of this video, so let's get started. Murray and I have been happily dating for about 2 years now. This is literally my longest relationship, but after about year 1, we started having some pretty serious issues. As y'all know, I am a knitting and crochet influencer and have made tons of things. I love creating anything with yarn, but my boyfriend decided to purchase some beanies from Target and he wore them all the time in front of me. It was like he didn't even know I existed. So what led you to that type of betrayal? It was unspoken, but clearly my boyfriend wanted me to knit him a hat. Because I was making a hat for a black man, it only made sense to use a pattern from a black man. You know, keep it in the family. In comes Nate. He's a designer I've been following for a while now. I've been itching to complete one of his designs. Making this hat for my boyfriend seemed like the perfect opportunity. Words to describe Nate are aesthetics, vibes, and swag. Literally every picture on his feed is perfectly curated. Honestly, it's at a level I aspire to one day. We must also take into account that Nate is a photographer, so I'm sure that contributes to a lot of why everything on his feed looks so well put together. Nate is primarily a knitwear designer, but he has a few crochet patterns for sale on Ravelry. He also has some completed makes for sale on his website. Needless to say, his website is just as sleek as his Instagram feed. If you want to make some knits or buy some knits, Nate is your guy. I'm not completely sure where he resides, but it's either Washington, D.C., Chicago, or Virginia. Wherever he is, I'm certain the vibes are immaculate. Nate has been a supporter of my content for a while now, so I'm more than happy to share his designs with all of you. This is makers supporting makers at its finest. Selection was 100% the choice of my boyfriend, so I'll let him explain why he selected this one.
Well, I chose it because the color, I really like the color, and from the picture, it really seemed like it was very soft and like it would hold its shape really well.
This pattern was simply amazing. I would classify it as an advanced beginner pattern. Nothing was too complicated, but it was a bit unfamiliar to me simply because I've never knit a hat before. If you make this hat, check the description box below for some helpful tutorials I used to get through the pattern. This pattern is literally magical. This hat is actually an illusion. As I was going through the pattern, I realized I didn't fully understand how the hat was going to come together. But that's because the pictures don't fully explain how the hat does come together. At first sight, this looks like a basic knit hat with a folded brim. But if you look at the description of the pattern, he even tells you it's not folded at all. The way this hat comes together is astonishing. In terms of modifications, they were minor as usual. I started by casting on an additional 8 stitches to accommodate the larger head that I was making this for. I used the long tail cast on method as well. Also, at the beginning of the pattern, Nate suggested an optional row based on preference, and I did incorporate that into my pattern. Finally, in step 1 of the pattern, I worked that section a ½ inch longer to give the hat a wider brim. Based on the way my boyfriend was wearing his raggedy hats from Target, I knew he liked a thicker brim. One of the biggest perks about his pattern is how quick it was to make. I was able to make this hat in about 3 days. I started it in a coffee shop on Friday, worked on it more in a coffee shop on Saturday, and put the finishing touches on it on Sunday when I got out of church. I feel like this hat gives serious painter, I ride my skateboard to work, I sing in Maverick City, I work in a coffee shop vibes. Let me know if you agree. The yarn was also chosen by my boyfriend, so I'll let him start by explaining why he chose this yarn in this color.
I chose the color because one of my favorite colors is green, so it was just really simple to choose that. The other reason why I chose the yarn, because the texture just looked like it would last a long time.
All I did was tell Murray that this pattern needed a bulky yarn. We hopped over to the We Crochet website and narrowed it down just to the bulky yarns. Also, thank you to We Crochet for sponsoring today's video. Once we had just the bulky yarn to choose from, Murray selected the Wool of the Andes bulky yarn in the color Fern. This yarn is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. Each 100-gram hank comes with 137 yards. The care instructions suggest hand washing and drying flat. Turns out, Murray chose the exact yarn that Nate suggested for this pattern, so that was helpful. Also, this yarn was somewhat familiar because I just completed a sweater with the Bellish app using the exact same yarn, but in the worsted weight version. Based on that make, I already knew this yarn was awesome. This yarn was such a delight to work with for that sweater, and I loved it just as much for this hat. I ended up using less than 1 hank of yarn to create this hat, so I do have an extra unused hank for sale in my Mercari shop below. This fern color is a medium olive green, like the crisp, beautiful leaves of a fresh fern nestled under the forest trees. Fern shines with a rich combination of green and yellow hues for a fabulous green that looks great with a variety of colors. And one of the colors that it goes well with is melanin. I was a bit skeptical about this color choice at first, but as y'all know, I'm always skeptical about my boyfriend's color choices, and they always come out looking bomb. He has made the color choice for quite a few of my makes, so maybe I should start giving him more credit. Like I mentioned before, he's an artist and his art always looks great. But yarn is my thing. It's hard for me to admit that he's good at something in my world. That's all I have for today. Thank you to Nate for his awesome pattern. Thank you to We Crochet for sponsoring this video and for supplying this gorgeous yarn. And thank you to Murray for modeling this week's make. Be sure to head over to my Instagram and give his pictures and reels a like. Also, be sure to follow his Instagram page if you would like some custom art. Hopefully, if we give him enough positive reinforcement for this hat, he'll stop buying hats from Target. This pattern is the perfect gift for any men or women in your life. I'm going to check in with the other guys in my family and see if they like this hat also. And if so, I might be set on Christmas gifts. The way I naturally wear my hair isn't really conducive to a hat like this, but if I have my twist in, or if I'm letting my twist marinate for a bomb twist out, this hat would be perfect for me. If you want me to make a video documenting me making this hat for myself, let me know in the comments below. This might just be the first pattern I make multiple times. See you in my next video. Bye!
I don't like the way you just put me out there like that, but you get what you asked for, I guess.